And welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast, a part of the College Huddle Network, along with my partners, Brian Siegel and Jonathan Talley, and maybe later a Shelton Moss. I don't know. We thought he was coming, and then he's not here yet, but Shelton's a busy guy. I am Curtis Wilson, and as always, we are brought to you by Dr. Jeremy Counts down at the Counts Family Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy, 301 South Main Street in Blacksburg. We are also brought to you by Moments on the Maury. Do you need a weekend getaway to sit by the river and have drinks by the campfire after a Hokies lost? Well, also the Maury down in Lexington, Virginia may be your spot. Owned by a proud Hokie, who is also constantly texting me, and he's pissed about all the situations that are currently going on. It is a little over an hour from Blacksburg. If you want to do that, drive as far as in-state. You can be there in a matter of 2 hours just from about anywhere if you're listening to us inside the state of Virginia. Like I said, you can still fish, you can still kayak, canoe, but sitting by the river with a nice fire pit and a nice drink in hand to throw things at is also wonderful. Check out the link in the comments section or on Instagram at Moments on the Maury. I can't wait for Phil to hear that one and give me feedback.
Need to drown your sorrows after a Hokies loss? Head down to Moments on the Maury.
Fire pits, beer, and river. Wonderful ways to soothe the soul after a crushing defeat. Oh, man, I got to throw this one up real quick.
Yeah.
Probably.
And the Hokies do have another 15-yard penalty, yes.
Yes, we do.
It's literally anytime we say a line, the Hokies just got another personal 15. Foul or
that led to a touchdown.
Some sort of dumbass penalty.
That led to a touchdown.
Yeah.
We will hit that later, but Tally, you shaking your head. You ain't saying anything. What you doing, man?
Man, it ain't nothing to say, man. You know, we fired a coach. We know what we in for. It was bad Saturday. You know, I'll just start by saying the guys that are playing hard. And I know we'll touch on some stuff later
on. 100%. But tonight, before we get into that, as always, we are going to get to know the enemy with a funny son of a bitch already. I'm going to say we were talking before he jumped on. He made me laugh numerous times. Tried to make me feel better one time. I don't know if that's going to work right now. I just don't know if that's going to work right now. But anyway, Rec Talk, put him on the line, put him in the video chat. He is our Georgia Tech guy. How's it going? Love the headband, by the way.
You had to put the headband on. I was sweating with anticipation to get on here, so I played pickleball with the Clemson fan, Pigskin Pete, and I thought, hey, put the headband on, man. Like, look, I know about misery. No one knows misery like Rec Talk. And when you have a channel, people don't realize how low the lows are, right? Because you'll be doing a live stream. Everyone is hate watching you. So you go from like 100 people to 300 that are just there to trash you. And that is the life of YouTuber, I guess. But yeah, how you guys doing?
Yeah. Right now, trying to figure out exactly to what degree that I get to be a hater for the rest of the season. Because when you got a team like Virginia Tech is, like, at some point you're just trying to like pick people in the college sports world. Who am I going to hate on so I can feel a little bit better about my situation? And you brought up a good one just before we jumped on here.
Oh, God, yeah. Say it. Rick Talk, say it. You were like, listen, y'all ain't.
You're not Blue Chew Bill at North Carolina. I mean, that he doesn't have a Blue Chew sponsorship is a crime against humanity in and of itself. Two different people have tried to make documentaries on this complete shit show that is Tar Heel Nation, and both have been canceled. One because of his 23-year-old girlfriend. I mean, who could have seen that this wasn't going to work out? The man hadn't coached college football, and this is true. I'm not even making this up. I'm a certified ball knower. I couldn't have wrote that by myself. That's all the way over there. I'm all the way over here. He hasn't coached college football since before we landed on the moon. These guys are addicted to hiring geriatric patients that parade around as head coaches. So I don't know. I mean, at least you are doing better than that.
You know what?
I guess that's true.
It could always be worse. We could always be a little bit further in the cellar. it's just one of those things that's frustrating. The time in college football that this is happening to Virginia Tech seems to be not the best timing. But hopefully we can get things get the ship righted with some new staff coming in here and things like that.
On.
But
we got to put this up for record.
What you got?
Man, that guy right there, man. It's like my dad told me, because I was an idiot girl. I still am an idiot. My dad just said, "Boy, there's something bad wrong with you," and he just kind of stopped having anything to do with me for a minute. There's something bad wrong with Jeff Collins. In fact, I saw on your message boards before he went to North Carolina, some of your fans were tossing around hiring him as DC. You call me before you hire Jeff Collins.
I will do that. Well, let's get into it because we got to talk about your team. And as these two teams get ready to meet down in downtown Atlanta, Saturday afternoon, 3:00, will you be in attendance?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be in Atlanta. I'll be, in fact, we gifted some tickets. I'm going to go around. There's a guy that's an idiot that sat behind me during the Clemson game and yelled for the backup quarterback to come in. So I'm going to go tell him, give him the old "what's there, Fred." But I'll be there.
Nice. Tally, did you decide? I know you've been toying with driving over from Huntsville. Are you going to go?
Yeah, still on the fence. I don't know just yet. We'll know for sure tomorrow.
I don't know. He's been talking about it. It's only a 2-hour drive, so he just wakes up that morning. He wants to go. He'll drive and find a ticket.
It's like, I'll buy a ticket. Let it go.
There you go.
Go to the strip club. Go to the strip club over there. Huh?
I've got 4 tickets now if you want one.
Well, me and my wife was gonna go, so I may need to. I will talk with you a little bit after the show for sure.
Yeah. They're closing down all the gentlemen's establishments we like, but we'll find something for you. We'll look up Claremont Lounge. That's where we'll end up going.
If the two meetings of the minds from the Boundary Corner podcast and Rec Talk go downtown Atlanta, there has to be photos of this. Tally, so please.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't gonna be no pickleball playing. I got one good thrust in me, and then I'm done. I fall out.
Under no pressure, you admitting this live on the internet for everybody.
The pickleball is done.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like Vegas. I won't tell nobody. I mean, if you don't, so.
Woo!
There we go.
Let's pull this back in. I don't know how I'm cracking up over here.
So Virginia football.
Well, let's talk about y'all, man, because I'm gonna start on offense because good Lord Almighty, Haynes King. You know what, Tally? You say what you said a few weeks ago about Haynes King and why you loved him so much. About how he's playing.
He's a tough motherfucker, man. Like, he just wants to win. If I was our coach or whoever is running the team out every week, I would put videos of Haynes King on the screen and say, "Kyron, either you do that or you got to come sit down, buddy." He is running the ball. If he has any opening, he is running the ball. And they don't want to hit him. I don't even know how big the kid is. But I do know that defense don't want to hit him after about 2 quarters. So may not be the conventional way to use a quarterback, but he is a Georgia Tech legend by how he plays football. I gotta love him, man.
Yeah, man.
So Rec Talk, what are you feeling this year? Any different? I mean, first of all, he is playing unbelievable. He is like what Tally just said. He is playing like in 5 years when he walks back in the stadium, it's gonna be like, there's the God. Holy fucking shit, it's Haynes King.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that walks in a room, his wiener's been there for 10 minutes already. He's one of them type guys. And here's the thing. Haynes King is a phenomenal player. And I might catch shit from my own fan base. He's not really a quarterback. Like, he does throw, and he has had serious injury issues. He's a certified ball player. He's just a ball player. He's a tough son of a gun. You don't really know what you're getting with him sometimes, though. Like, we did lose against Georgia last year, but, I mean, he had like 400 yards of offense against Georgia by himself. won the game against Colorado, spotting him 3 turnovers by himself. But like then we just refused to play for a half against Wake Forest for some reason. So I don't know. Like my thing with Haynes is like he's never going to be 100% healthy. Like he's going to be something below, maybe is 80% now his max. It's like in NCAA 26. Y'all play that?
Oh yeah.
You don't know how red he is. A game. Sometimes it's just like the sun just burning there. But no, he's a good one. And, we have a really good backup, too, if we do have to use him. And Aaron Philo broke Trevor Lawrence's record in Georgia in high school. You got some good supporting cast members and Jamal Haynes and Malachi Hosley at running back. One guy you probably don't know about is a guy named Isaiah Canyon that plays wide receiver. He's
I know about him.
Okay.
I know about him. I didn't. No, go ahead, roll on him because it was one of the guys we wanted to talk about was Isaiah Canyon. And I mean, y'all got him straight out of high school. What, second year? True sophomore?
Yeah.
He's
Now
balling already this year, man.
He probably would have played before now. He tore his labrum his senior year in high school, but he's just big. Like, as bad as Clemson is right now, like their defense has that probably at least 5 guys are going to get drafted off their defense.
Right.
And he was ragdolling them. He was dragging them. He's 6'4", probably 210, something like that. We haven't used him quite as much. Eric Rivers, he was an All-American that came out of FIU that we kind of swapped with. We lost Eric Singleton Jr. to Auburn. So offensively, like if we hit on all cylinders, like we got guys that can play. I think we're first in the conference in sacks allowed. So we've given up the least amount of sacks.
Y'all are like top 15 in the country in sacks allowed. Y'all are unbelievable. Right?
Yeah, and part of that is an artifact of the offense that we run. I'm not saying we have the best offensive line in the country. Miami might have that. But yeah, the problems for Georgia Tech are going to be defensively. There are definitely things you could exploit on us defensively.
Well, you probably ain't gonna have to worry about it much this week. I'll go ahead and tell you.
I won't.
Let me throw one other name out there on offense because you mentioned him, but I want to ask how important it is this year is Malachi Hosley because Haynes was here last year, and Haynes had a great season. How important is it for what y'all do to have that basically third runner on the field that can do whatever he wants whenever he wants? Because if you ask me watching y'all's games, we know what Haynes is going to do. We know what King's going to do.
Yeah.
But when you have that third guy, and it's like, you know what we still can do? We can still run it right at you with our third guy, and he's just as damn good as these first two. Yeah,
that's not just a Georgia Tech thing. I mean, every team in the country's got to have 3 running backs that can go. And you're gonna have 3. Well, you need to. If you're gonna have sustained success, you need 3 running backs that can go. One of them's gonna get banged up at a minimum for any team throughout the season. But yeah, Jamal Haynes, he actually pulled something. I don't know how serious it is in warmups before Wake. So we'll see. He didn't have a good game last week. But Malachi Hosley is a guy that came out of Penn. I think he's from Roswell, Georgia, or something like that. Roswell or Alpharetta. He's a guy that as soon as they put like pads on at practice, like he just started running by people. He's not big, but he's really important. And then we get like Chad Alexander back, Trelane Maddox, some other guys that can distribute that load because you can't just bang Jamal Haynes for all game. You gotta take some weight off his shoulders.
Yeah,
he's important.
And you like you said, you got 2 running backs there that can make a little bit of noise for you. Let's pull back a little bit and talk about the offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner. When it comes to scheme and game plan, like what does he bring to the table? I know he's the coordinator. He also coaches tight ends for y'all, right? So
yeah.
What's his biggest benefit that he brings to the team from a scheme standpoint?
So it is interesting. Usually your OC is your quarterback's coach at almost every school. We have Chris Winkie, though, on staff that's really good with quarterbacks. Buster, one thing that he does, and if you've watched Georgia Tech at all, almost every play has motion in it. A lot of motion to get as much information from the defense as you can. Like the guys running with the slot to the other side of the field, all right, they're probably in man, right? he also does a lot of very, I don't know if innovative is the right word. He does a lot of interesting things in the run game. Like he'll pull a tight end and tackle on a play on like a quarterback power or something. So Buster is very good at tailoring to the strengths of his team. The way he uses Haynes King is ideal for the most part. Like, yeah, you might stuff some of this power option stuff situationally, but he's going to find a way to get Haynes King his rushing yards. And then, some interesting pass concepts on the back end of it, right? Like throwing it deep to, damn, I can't remember his name now. We just talked about him, big 6'4" kid, Isaiah Canyon, right? Stretching the field and then running it back on the quarterback power. So I think he calls a really good game for the most part. Didn't really show against Wake last week, but look, Buster's one of the most popular names in coaching hires right now, and he was last season as well.
Nice. Anything else on offense? Anybody else on offense we have not mentioned that jumps out to you? You've mentioned a bunch of names. I mean, I wanted to talk about Haynes King, obviously Jamal Haynes and Hosley, and you threw up Canyon. I was like, well, there's a guy I wanted to hear about, and now I'm hearing, well, he's 6'4", he's 215, he ragdolls defensive backs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only other thing I'll say, and I don't even know what to make of this, is in more than one press conference, Brent Key said, the more hurt Haynes King is, the better he plays, which has been true. It was true at Wake, it was true. Like, as soon as he starts pulling this thumb and ass routine, he ends up running for 45-yard touchdown or something. So make of that what you will.
All right.
It seems like he's just got that gamer button. Like, as soon as he is in those crunch time situations, he makes the most of it and just gets the job done.
It's what Tally has said numerous times. There are certain guys, they're never going to make it pro.
Yep,
but
he's one.
Now you're in the era of college football, right? You can make a shit ton of money, and you can submit your legendary status. It doesn't matter.
Look at Tim Tebow. He was never going to be an NFL starting quarterback for any length of time. He's one of the greatest college football players ever, though.
Yep.
It's true. Yep. Not a lie. All right, let's flip over to defense for a little while here. And I want to make something I completely didn't know until I started doing my research this week. You guys flipped DCs. Tyler Santucci left Georgia Tech after 1 year after coming over from Duke and Elko's tree. Comes to y'all, has a solid season. Well, first of all, maybe he wasn't as solid because he went up to Baltimore, and their defense is absolutely shit right now, and he's in linebackers coach up there. So maybe it's him, maybe it's not. But y'all go hire Blake Gideon, who's a safeties coach up at Texas, basically for their deep run last year. And he'd been there with Sarkisian for the last 3 years. What's the difference you're seeing on the defensive side of the ball this year just with Gideon, or is it more, you know what, he steadied the ship and we're still rolling?
So Brent Key's had more defensive coordinators than he's been head coach at Georgia Tech. So we brought over, or we kept Andrew Thacker, who was a Collins hire for whatever reason. Now, I get why. Our defense was the cornerstone of Key's interim year. He basically assaulted him on the sideline of the Bowling Green loss, and then we fire him, promote Kevin Scherer to DC, fire both of them. So you had two DCs in the same year. Then you talked about it. We bring in Santucci, who I didn't even learn his name until he was already gone. I thought his name was Santucci. And he was really good, though. He came from Duke. He was a linebackers coach. Our linebacker play had been atrocious up to that point. Blake Gideon came in, which was really exciting for us as Tech fans because we're really good. Most of our defensive talents in the defensive back room. Blake Gideon played defensive back. When he was at Texas, they had one of the best pass defenses in the country. As far as what I've seen from him, and he's never called plays before, too, so there is some learning curve in this for him. Really, the Georgia Tech defense has been bend but don't break, and they've been really good at times, like turning the ball over 3 straight possessions to start a game. I don't know that I've ever seen that. I was melting down, especially because I bet Colorado fans I would drink a 40-year-old Coke if they won that game. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to drink a 40-year-old Coke. But they gave up 3 points off those 3 turnovers. I mean, a point, a turnover is pretty good. They have been lit up. The thing is, we don't have a pass rush right now. We have to be near last. I think we're 16th in the conference in sacks. So, we've got to be a little more creative with how we draw up stunts and blitz packages. But as far as what I've seen from Blake Guinea, if you look at the rankings, we're like 65th in total defense. It's been bend but don't break.
Okay. All right. And I mean, that's kind of the same style that we try to play, but we've been breaking a whole lot. So,
oh yeah, well, that would just be break. It wouldn't be. There would be no
it's bend and then break and then crumble. It's the whole 9 yards there. Let's flip over to the.
And you're right. You're 15, not 16. Both two of the North Carolina schools are worse than y'all at getting sacks. One we played already.
Yeah.
And the other one, Blue Chew Bill.
Blue Chew Bill.
All right. So. Yeah, let's flip it over though. So we got these. We learned here about the new DC a little bit. Let's talk about that defensive line. I'll let you jump in with a couple guys that you like. I know we had kind of circled Jordan Vandenberg as kind of being the guy on the interior there. But is there anybody else you want to talk about and let the fans know about on the Georgia Tech defensive line?
Yeah, Vandenberg's good. He came from Penn, squats like 600 something pounds or something. He's really the leader on the defensive front. We lost a ton last year on the defensive front. In fact, he's the only one that's really played any meaningful snaps that's returning this year as opposed to last year. The oil money from Texas Tech took Romello Height. They seem to be doing fantastic right now. Another one, this is interesting. Kilo Stone, he's also a defensive tackle, left Georgia Tech to go to Ole Miss. And now he's transferred back to Georgia Tech.
This season?
No, it was in consecutive seasons. So one season he left to go to Ole Miss, played down there. Next season he came back to play for Georgia Tech. He's been really good for us. I want to say he's been banged up. I know he's had to come out of games sporadically. King Season says Gideon has done solid through 5 games for a guy who was a first-time play caller, but bad for how much we paid him. Well, I don't know, man. What are we paying him? Like $800,000 a year? I mean, the highest paid coordinators are defensive coordinators. I think there's a DC that makes over $3 million or something.
Yeah, it's Knowles at Penn State. We know because he was going to get paid for $1.8 million by us if he hadn't fucking went on that run with Ohio State.
There you go.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, I mean, where we're weak on that defensive front is at the end. And that's where, if you want to be really strong on defense and you could pick one position to be really good at, it would be at defensive end. I mean, the less you have to cover, the better, right? You don't have to be that great in your defensive backfield if you can get to the quarterback. And that's created problems for us. Like Wake was able to just run simple go routes, split, Wake was running cover 2 and split the safety and corner at the boundary multiple times. We just weren't able to get there. So some work to be desired for sure on the defensive front. Gideon is making over $1 million a year. Okay.
Still don't matter. Like,
so
that's the one right now. Go ahead, Tyler.
No, I was just going to say the main person that everybody sees, or in my opinion, that kind of jumps off the page on your defense is your linebacker. I mean, he looks like he's out of a horror film, face paint everywhere, got the big cowboy collar.
Yeah.
I mean, how has he been playing this year, and what do you think about him?
He's been playing well. I mean, he is a menace as far as run stops concerned. Like, and just like open field tackling, getting a guy on the ground, really good blitzing. But he can be exposed in coverage. Anytime I see him matched up on the slot with somebody, because look, usually your slot receiver is your fastest receiver, like a smaller, fast receiver. He gets exposed a lot. That happened last year. It's happened a few times this year. But Eford, I mean, look, any dude that wears a cowboy collar, and I didn't even know they made those anymore. I mean, I didn't see anyone wear that until he did. Yeah. So, I mean, he got something going on.
Hey, real quick, there's another linebacker I've kind of noticed a couple of times. He transferred over from Oregon State, and he's grading pretty high in PFF in all categories, tackling, coverage, and that's Melvin Jordan IV. Where is he lining up? Like, is he primarily weak side, or is he playing like some of the outside linebacker?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. I would assume he's outside. He seems like a more athletic guy like him. We have 3 more athletic linebackers than like EJ Lightsley that came in from UGA last year. Melvin Jordan came in this year, and then a guy named Jackson Hamilton that came in from Louisville. And we do a pretty good job at rotating situationally those guys in. Like if we, they bring out 4 wide receivers, we're probably going to bring Eford off and put Jordan in or EJ Lightsley in.
Okay, so he's more of a coverage oriented linebacker.
Maybe, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I haven't paid that much attention to it. I've been oogling over Haynes King and stuff like that.
As you should.
As you should. We would too. Last one, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, your secondary. I know you talked about there was some problems there as Wake was coming in, especially the inability to get pressure on there and some coverage breakdowns. But we kind of circled Amari Harvey, cornerback.
Yeah.
But I want you to talk about him a little bit, maybe some of the other guys in that secondary that have been some playmakers for you.
Yeah, Amari Harvey's good. I didn't really know how good he was until I played NCAA 26 and he scored like 14 points a game as a defensive back. But no, he's been good this season, really good in coverage, a guy that has a ton of experience, which is needed. Another guy that I'm really high on is a guy named Clayton Powell-Lee. In the past, we've been so bad at linebacker, like more toward his sophomore year, that he had to play linebacker. So he's a big, 200-pound plus safety. We actually interviewed him on the channel his freshman year. He came out of Westlake, which is where Cam Newton came out of in Georgia. So that they're a football factory. We've got a few kids out of there, but Clayton Powell-Lee really good at being a run stopper out of safety, just reading the offense and knowing where to be on the field. I mean, hell, probably more than half of playing defense is just knowing what spot you need to get in.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Being at the right spot.
I'm doing
the
a
right
show,
time.
lady. Sorry.
So going into this game Saturday, obviously y'all are, this might be the first time ever in this series with y'all and us going back to 2004 that anybody's ever been this big of a favorite in this game. I think it was 14.5 is where it started. I am not sure where it is right now.
It's a lot of points.
That is a shit ton of points. But where's your is there a concern as you're looking through your team through the lens of, okay, we're undefeated, we're top 15 in the country, we're leading the ACC. Is there any fear right now? Like, we're going to fuck this up? Where are you standing going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, look, do I think there's only 12 teams in the country better than Georgia Tech? No, I don't. Georgia Tech has the benefit of a very easy schedule this year. You look at their wins, where is the big quality win, you'd say, for Georgia Tech? They don't have one. You thought Clemson maybe, but Clemson, can't get out of their own way. They can only beat Troy and North Carolina, which is not a great resume. And I'm certainly scared. Like, never bet Georgia Tech as a favorite, first of all. I hate sports betting. And in fact, years ago, I told my dad, like, I think I'm going to take Ole Miss on the money line over Alabama. This is what he told me. This is for all you guys listening. He said, well, I guess if you're tired of giving your ex-wife all your money, you can give the rest of the bookie. All right. So don't bet on sports. These guys know what they're doing. And if you have to bet, don't bet Tech as a favorite. Go watch last week against Wake. Tech's a team that plays to the level of talent that is across from them. Like, they'll go beat Miami last year, and then lose to Virginia Tech. Not to crap on Virginia Tech, but you'd think if you can take care of Miami, you should have been able to take care of Virginia Tech. And we had injury issues and all that. I get it. They kept showing a stat during the Wake game. Key's like 9-1 against ranked ACC opponents after that win, and 9-8 against unranked ACC opponents. So it's almost like Key holds stuff back for teams that are these big marquee matchups. I hope that's not like a thing that continues with them, but this is the exact type of game that Georgia Tech stumbles in. And it's been a little while since we beat y'all. Well, when was the last time we beat Virginia Tech? In Blacksburg?
You beat us in 2021. That was Brent
Pyron.
First season. I think that was a one score. Hold on. I'm 98% sure it was a one score loss.
Yeah,
when you said the stuff with
Grinke.
the when he said the stuff with like holding back for the good teams, I was getting Fuente vibes for the Hokie fans. I was like, okay, well, because Fuente always put out a good team, even you win or lose, it was a good game against the quality opponents, and you turn around and lose a bunch of games you had no business losing, and
yeah. I mean, it's wild.
Might have been 2022.
It was Keith's interim year, I think, because we didn't play the year before last, and you beat us last year. Yeah. That was when we had Pyron, who ended up transferring out and broke his collarbone and whatnot. But yeah,
I think Pyron came in the game y'all beat us too, though.
We started Gibson, who I call cinder block feet, and he transferred to Georgia State and lost that competition. So yeah. But yeah, no, this game does scare me. The only silver lining for me is it's in Atlanta. Like no matter how down Virginia Tech might be, I mean, I think Blacksburg can be a tough place to play.
Always loud. So what's your big key this week? I know you said play the level of competition. What's the one thing if you say, if I look at this, if I get blackout drunk, pass out, forget what happened Saturday, and if I wake up, there's one stat line I'm looking at and say, if we did that, then we won the game.
Combined rushing yards of Jamal Haynes and Haynes King. If I knew that number, I would tell you. If it's above 160, I would say 99 times out of 100, Georgia Tech's going to win that game. And that's not just a Virginia Tech thing. If Georgia Tech can get their rushing yards in, they tend to beat whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
Got it. Tally, anything else you want to ask Mr. Rec Talk here tonight, sir?
No, man. I mean, he's given us a lot of information. He's eased the blow. He's been very nice to us today. So, I mean, I appreciate him being on here. And
hadn't stomped on our grave or anything, told us we were better than UNC. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Y'all don't do
dumb, King having 3 touchdowns on us running.
Y'all don't do dumb stuff like other fan bases do, like lose everything that's good about your team and say you're going to be better this year, like, I don't know, Colorado, or hire a bunch of people that have never coached before and say because they were good NFL players, that's going to mean something. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done any of that.
Right.
Hey, man, we're checking all the boxes then. Now we just got to go ahead and get a fucking coach.
Natty incoming.
Hey.
Oh, God. Don't we wish? Don't we wish? Well, listen, Rec Talk, dude, we talked with you last year. You were fun then. You're fun now. Tally's going to hook up with you because if Tally comes to Georgia Tech and y'all go in the Claremont Club and do all this stuff, I want pictures because I got a feeling it's going to be one of those nights y'all don't remember.
You should look up Claremont. You're not going to want to. You're not going to want pictures.
You're not going to want pictures.
Claremont Lounge. You don't even go there for gratification. You go there for entertainment. Okay, this is. I mean, what would the dive bar equivalent of the Titty Club be? I don't know. That's what it is, though.
Okay, all right. The dive bar equivalent of the Titty Club.
Just write that down. Just write it. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you taking a little bit of your time this evening to talk with us on Georgia Tech. Give us a little background. Tell everybody where they can find you, and when will you be going live to talk about this game from y'all's perspective?
Yes, you can find me. Just search Rec Talk on YouTube. I'll be there talking trash about someone. I just did a video on Blue Chew Bill and how I told you that wasn't going to work out, and people didn't want to listen to me. And I've been more right about North Carolina than their own fans for the past 3 years. You can find me on Twitter. Yeah, man. You can find me on Twitter at rec_talk because some porn bot hacked my other account, so I lost that one. As far as when I'll be going live, I don't know, probably at some point that night. I usually will stream the late game that night. So like whatever the 10:30 game is, I did convert to Mormonism in exchange for a win against Wake Forest. I converted to Christianity earlier in a previous season. And so my soul is pretty cheap. It ended up working out. Explain how we beat Wake down 20-3. So usually BYU plays at 10:30 and I'll stream them.
They are not playing.
Are the
10:30
referees
this
Mormons? Is that what's
Is that
going
why?
on?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't question the power of Joseph Smith on the stream like that. I mean, you're welcome to, but that's the only thing I can accredit it to.
So you're converting to Catholicism next time you'll play Notre Dame?
I would know. First of all, Notre Dame, you got Jesus overlooking your stadium. When was the last time they went to a Natty West? They didn't win it. They hadn't even won a postseason game prior to that since, I don't know, Lou Holtz was there or something. So it's a little suspicious to me.
Oh, God. I love it. Great talking with you, man. We hope that we continue to play y'all so we can bring you on every year for 40 minutes of unfiltered entertainment. Take care of yourself, and appreciate it, man.
What? By the way, UNC evidently just made a statement about Bill Belichick.
I got it up here. This is from the UNC athletic department. I am fully committed to the UNC football program, to UNC football and the building here, Bill Belichick. Coach Belichick has the full support of the Department of Athletics and University Bubba Cunningham. Therefore, after they lose and get squirrel stomped this weekend, he's going to get fired. It's a guarantee now.
Yeah. If you got to make a statement, you got the full support. You don't have the full support.
No.
Yeah, if you have to come out and make a statement like, hey, his girlfriend is not actually coaching the team and, she isn't actually asking for concession money before the games. It's not a good look, man. I mean, can you imagine watching Jeff Collins coach at Georgia Tech and say, I want that, I think, and hiring him? I mean, these guys are addicted to paying buyouts like some crackhead over here in downtown Atlanta. I ain't never seen nothing like it. They ought to just do sports betting. They would lose less money just flipping a coin on the spread than their buyouts they're paying coaches. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.
Appreciate
Take
it,
care, man.
You have a good one, man.
Appreciate it. Oh, my God. Deep breath here. You know what? That made me feel a little bit better for the next few minutes at least before we get over. No.
You can keep looking at UNC stuff and understand that the man who made that statement's name is Bubba and laugh at that.
Well, Bubba
Cunningham.
Bubba Cunningham. Oh my God. All righty. Well, I think we don't have Sheldon tonight, so we're gonna roll on and let's just talk about Saturday and let's tell the truth because versus Wake Forest, there's a 30-23 loss. And what went well? Well, right now we aren't UNC, we aren't Oklahoma State. I was gonna say we aren't UCLA, but God damn it, look what they went out and did on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, man.
But y'all, Brian's known me 30 years. Tally, you've known me about 5 years now. I'm a pretty optimistic individual, right?
Yeah,
pretty optimistic, pretty positive. Y'all, I can't find shit on Saturday that went well. And it wasn't just because we lost.
Yeah, it was a lot of bad going on.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you could say is like the running game in the first half was decent. Not spectacular, but not awful. We went away from it too much. Kyron still threw more than he needed to. For as inefficient as we were passing the football, we still threw the ball way too many times.
Go ahead, Tally. Agreed. No, I think the only thing I can say that went well was the kids that are getting in the game are playing hard. I don't see people that are in the game quitting, just taking tons of plays off. I think they're playing hard. I just think we're not a good team. I mean, that's all I can say about. I mean, we got some people that are playing that probably shouldn't be playing, but I feel like that 90% of the kids that are getting in the game are playing hard. So that's what I will say about what went well. Not much. But
well, the only thing is, and this is what I get even more pissed off about, and I'm going to go ranty here for a second. What pisses me off is I couldn't find a damn thing, in my opinion, that went well, and we lost by 7 points. I could not find anything. Like, I'm trying to say, what did we do good? What What did we do good? I don't see anything that went well. Watch most of the game.
Curtis, we can go to flip the pivot to the next thing and say what went bad, and it'll tell you why you lost by 7 after you couldn't find that much. Number one we'll start with is fucking penalties. That's what went bad.
Oh, God.
Penalties went horrible.
Man, penalties are what are they doing? So the problem that I'm seeing with the penalties, like penalties are penalties. Like you're gonna get penalties in the game. We're getting penalties. Absolutely kills drives. It either takes points off the board or gives them points that go on the board. Gets us out of field goal range. Like we get penalties at times we cannot afford to get penalties. All the time. Man. All the time.
Yeah.
How many drives? I was trying to do the count. 17 points, right? Roughing the passer.
May have been more. Mm-hmm.
I counted 17. Roughing the passer, extended the drive. They would have had to punt or go for it on like 4th and 7. Unsportsmanlike, that would have ended the drive. 7. Special teams over the center. Although I was going to bust you, Holt, but then it was like I looked at where that game. They only threw that damn flag because they missed a field goal. And he had his slightly shoulder over the center. That's the only reason they threw it. If he makes it, they don't throw the flag. So, but that's 17 points. And when you lose a game by 7, you just want to throw shit like that. Because it's like, take all that off the board, it's a 10-point win.
Yeah. I think we had one more, though, somewhere. I can't remember what it was. I could not bring myself to go back and watch any of that game because it was so bad, like how I felt. But I feel like it was one more thing that we did to extended a drive for them or something. No, we hit somebody time.
Is that it right there? No, that's the roughing the passer. Brian, what else? What else went bad on Saturday? Because I'm gonna try to find it. Because I found the roughing the passer. I'll find the other ones in a second here.
I mean, the second bugaboo on top of the penalties is not finishing drives, man. We're getting historically bad in terms of getting in the red zone and not being able to get a touchdown in the process. We're kicking too many field goals. We're letting drives fizzle at the wrong times, whether it be because of those penalties or because of bad execution or inconsistent play calling. There's so many reasons that we're just fizzling out when we get in the red zone. And some of that's on Kyron, some of that's on other areas of the offense. But at the end of the day, if you're not scoring touchdowns when you drive the field, you're falling behind, man. You can't leave that many points on the field consistently and expect to win football games.
Jordan Bass ran somebody over in the secondary too. I don't know if it led to points, but
I think I know what you're talking about. Like that was a PI, and I do think it. I think it ended up in a field goal, so that would have been another 3 points.
Yeah.
Can I say this? Defensively, though, y'all, if you want to go to NCAA stats, guess who's dead last in red zone defense? And I'm talking about dead fucking last. I'm talking about tied with the most opportunities and literally cannot stop a score inside 20 yards. That's us. Dead last.
Well, we can't score inside of the 20 either, Curtis.
Yeah.
Another thing that went bad.
We're bad in the red zone both ways.
And it hurts. It hurts because Saturday, you look at John Love's field goal. What were they? Like 31?
Yeah.
31, 33, 34?
Yeah.
You start doing that math, it's like, wait a second. That means you were like snapping that ball. It's about a 6-yard snap, right? Y'all both played 6 yards.
Yep.
That means you were inside your 15 3 times. The last one you were inside the 10. And that was the idea.
Punch the ball in. Can't push the ball in. And you know what? I gotta throw a disclaimer out there because I said something about Murray, and I didn't mean to talk about him. Even though, I got to come back and give my man an apology. I haven't really watched him. He jumped off the page this past game, but I think he's number 9, right?
Yeah.
IBM's number 9. So the other corner or safety that's been playing, is he number 8? No, not 8. That's Christian Ellis. Whatever number was the one that wasn't turning his head. I think it was Brown. Caleb Brown. Is that who it is?
Yeah, Brown's not playing right now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
in the
first
season,
couple of games.
Yeah,
in the early
exactly.
season.
Okay, yeah.
That's who I was thinking Murray was. So I gotta tell my man Murray that, hey man, I apologize. Didn't mean to come at you. Thinking about Breon Murray. It was actually Brown that was screwing up. But anyway, yeah, we still had Murray gave us a good IBM gave us a good opportunity to go score some points, get a pick, trying to get to the end zone. When he didn't get to the end zone, Curtis texted me and said, we ain't gonna score. We about to kick.
I did text you that when he didn't get in.
Texted
Brian.
3 plays later. Yeah.
Field
3
goal.
plays later, what happens? We're kicking a field goal from the fucking 10.
Hey, wait a second. Didn't we get a penalty too on that drive that backed us up a couple yards?
Yes, we did.
We got a couple.
On third and it was like 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 or something. We get a penalty. It takes us back to like the 7 or 8.
Curtis, if the drive started with first down, we got a penalty on it.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Pitiful, man.
Brian, what about this? Because we mentioned Kyron's play. We can talk about that a little bit more, but man, I don't think pass pro is going to get fixed this year.
Nah, I mean, some of the elements that we were expecting to have are no longer in the game. 2 of them in particular, and they're not going to be coming back. They are off the roster, and it's hard to absorb that type of loss and expect to be consistent, because even the guys behind it, if they got talent, there's a reason that they're behind there. They may not be ready for one reason or another, and we can't get after the passer, and that was already a problem because we were still working in a somewhat inexperienced secondary behind Dante Lovett, who is also no longer playing on this football team. So you have a bad combination of a lack of pass rush and a secondary, particularly a cornerback group that is pretty inexperienced, and it's starting to show. And when you add into that Christian Ellis being out this game,
that hurt.
That put them in even deeper bind.
So yeah, not a lot of good. And now, and I'm gonna say this and make people mad, we're 0-3 at home. 0-3. And unless you beat Cal in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, there's not going to be a home win this year.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a home win this year. That is just being brutally honest.
Barring a miracle.
Barring a miracle. You ain't beating Louisville. We ain't beating Miami. So be prepared for that. That Friday night game better be the Super Bowl for the kids. All right, I'm going to go with what did anything happen that we weren't prepared for? Me and Tally sat here in our confidence and said, we're not winning this game. But for me, my thought was Damon Claiborne is going to run over us. He's going to have 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. All the kids from King William going down there to watch him are going to see it. Well, he gets hurt. They don't have a running game. He goes for 29 yards. We keep them to 90 yards on the ground. You tell me we kept that team to 90 yards on the ground, it was like, well, we won the game. Like, no, you lost, and they scored 30. What the hell?
Where did those points come from?
Where did those points come from? If they couldn't run the damn ball.
Well, but it goes back, if you can't pass rush and you got inexperienced cover guys, even those ducks that were getting thrown out of the backfield there were getting home. You dropped at least 3 interceptions that I saw.
Just not good, man. Just not good. And again, that's no disrespect to the coaches. No disrespect to the kids that's playing, but it's like you fired your head coach because he wasn't getting it done, and I think we've had 4 or 5 defensive starters that have been out that's not playing or leaving, and maybe 6 or 7 two deep guys.
Cal, I
I
think
mean,
you're right.
you almost got your whole defense.
You've lost almost half of your two deep in one way or another
Yeah.
between guys that are portaling and guys that are injured.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it's never an excuse. You definitely want to go and win a game. But for me, I'm like, I'm still watching. I'm still getting upset when we don't win. But realistically, taking a step back, looking at things, I'm like, man, these kids, right, they can't win the game. They can't win the game. They don't know how to win. I mean, you've been under a coaching staff that doesn't know how to win. And now you got kids that don't know how to win. You know, they don't. But again, we can talk a little bit. We ain't gonna stay on it long, but we can talk a little bit about the landscape of college football and coaching that's coming up. I think Curtis messaged me earlier today and said, we ain't got to talk about it now, but he said, we ain't got to talk about it now, but if you had one person that you're looking at as head coach, who would it be? And I thought about it because I throw different names out to Curtis all the time, sometimes playing, sometimes, just bouncing it off to see what he says. And then I was thinking to myself, really, I don't know. I really do not know, because I really feel like any name that you throw out is going to be a crab in a bucket in 4 more weeks, because it's going to be some coaches, more coaches get fired. It's going to be more coaches get shuffled. So it's like, who do you look at? Somebody put Jimbo in the chat. Again, we ain't gonna answer all the coaching things, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, we're not answering that for 2 reasons. Because next week we have to talk about this game, and all y'all who have been wanting to talk about coaching for the last month, next week's gonna be your week, because we're gonna let you come on and you're gonna put your face on screen and you're gonna say who you want to be the next head coach of college of the Virginia Tech Hokies. I've got
mark it down.
Mark it down.
Save the coach batter for next week.
We are thinking it's Monday, because we've got things going on in our lives that where it ain't gonna be a Tuesday or Wednesday. Brian, by the way, you didn't respond. Is Monday good next week for you? Monday
is great.
Monday next week, we're gonna talk about the Georgia Tech game. Maybe something good. I highly doubt it. But bring who you think you want the head coach to be. Why did I say give y'all a few weeks? Everybody was all over John Summerall's ass. I want the Tulane coach. He looked like shit against Ole Miss, didn't he? Ain't nobody talked about him anymore. Well, why not? Right. Why don't you want him? He's a good coach. Now, he looked like crap. Somebody saying James Franklin. You got somebody in mind. You're going to come here and you're going to say it live on air, and it's going to be recorded. So if you say something stupid, everybody in the world that watches our program is going to know. And we're going to reveal ours too. We're going to reveal our tally. You got 5 days. You got 5 days to think about who you want. And you can make it realistic, unrealistic. So that's next week.
This is what I'll ask, though. This is what I'll ask the chat. When you come next weekend to talk about your coaches, at least give us some background on why you picking this coach.
Yeah.
Why you think they'll be good. Give us something. Don't just come in here and say Nick Saban. Yeah. It can be unrealistic, but at least give us something. Hey, I think Saban could come in. He could build a program up. He may do it for 2 years, take it on as a project. He's from West Virginia. Have some kind of substance behind it if you're going to pop on. I get it, man. We'll run a space just to talk crap. So when we get on air and we want to do some talking, still don't mind talking crap, but I just want a little bit of substance if you're going to come on. Give me a little bit of reason why you 100%. Picked that person, what you're feeling. Somebody said James Franklin. I'm hearing James Franklin's buyout is $50 million. Okay, it's probably not going to be James Franklin. So Pat Fitzgerald.
Sell it out. Hey, I want to say this because you said it about bringing the sauce. The last time we did this, people that got on brought the sauce.
Yep.
Y'all brought it. That was one reason when this happened. I didn't want to do it right then, because you need to see how things matriculate. You need to see other coaches being fired. You need to figure out, okay, who's a realistic option. And next week, we're going to be about a month and a half out from when it's going to be announced. It's not going to be beforehand. The only way it's going to be beforehand is if it's a coach not coaching right now. That's the only way it's going to be beforehand. All right, last piece. What we can do better moving forward. And I'm going to throw this to Brian first. Tally, you go second.
All right.
We love Kyron. We've interviewed him. He is a hell of a young man. nice as he can be, plays hard, but should there be a quarterback change before some point this season?
This for me.
This is you first.
This
Then
is-
Tally can chime in.
At this point, I say yes, because at this point we know what Kyron is and what he isn't. We've seen enough tape at this point where I don't think we're all of a sudden going to see a different football player roll out there next week. Now, what he does is that he does have games where he is playing confidently and can play a notch up. But the issue that we have has always been consistency. And we haven't found the recipe to get him to a point where he can play his best consistently. And I think at this point, it's probably better served for us to figure out what we have behind him, regardless of who the next coach is, because there's going to be conversations of who you can keep, who you can pay, all these things. And you got two guys behind him. Correct me if I'm wrong. Both of them have remaining eligibility. So I'd at least want to see what they have. I'd like to see what they can do with the roster that's remaining for this team, because obviously they don't have. They're not coming into this like Kyron, where they've worked with some of these guys for a couple of years at this point. They're coming in fresh. I'd like to see what they can do with some of the talent that's already on the roster. Because we know Kyron's not going to be here next year, one way or the other. So
No, Kyron's senior. So
yeah, exactly. So he's not going to be here one way or the other, exactly. So at the end of the day, I'd like to see some new blood in there and just see what if that can bring a little bit of a spark to the offense.
Tally.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even if you just doing it for a series or a couple of plays and trying to throw some different wrinkles in, I mean, you got to do something. You got to try to go win some games. You got to go try to, give some kids an opportunity, because everybody's, vying for a position, whether it's at Virginia Tech or if it's at William and Mary, wherever that they're thinking about transferring to. I will say, if I'm the coach and I'm leaving Kyron in, he's not passing the ball 30 times a game or 25 times a game. I think his sweet spot for me passing the ball is probably 15 to 20 times a game. And guess what you're going to be doing on those other plays? You're going to be running it. You got to, I mean, if you go look right now, Haynes King has 108 pass attempts, 74 completions for 758 yards. Now, again, their schedule has been easy, but still, you still got to go out and win the games.
He's got 300 touchdowns. He's got three
Yep.
touchdown passes. 3.
Yeah, he's not a passing. He's not like Rick Talk said, he's not really a quarterback. He's a football player. He just goes out and does what needs to be done to win the game. Now, Kyron, on the other hand, almost has 100 more pass attempts than him. And
That's crazy.
we're not getting anywhere with
It's
that.
crazy. Not at all.
God
And I
has
know they got an
190
extra game in there,
197.
but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm with y'all on this. And I think it's more for the fact of for wrangle and pop than anything. And I don't care who plays and who doesn't, or if both of them play. You got to be fair to those guys. They came here, they expected to be backups, and then expected to compete in the future for the job. And you don't know if they're going to be able to stay here or not, right? You don't, because we don't know who the coach is yet.
Yep.
At least get them some game film. And everybody's like, well, what about winning the game? Y'all, we 2-4.
We ain't doing it.
We ain't 5-1 and struggling.
Mm-mm.
We're 2-4. It's one of those things where at some point, I'm not saying cut losses, but you need to look up and down the roster, like what's happening on defense with like Chambers and Robinson playing over older guys.
Yeah.
JoJo Krim playing over some older guys. A couple Brett Clatterball is playing a couple older guys. Eventually, you just got to be to the young guys like, listen, go out there and play, because if you're not here next year, at least you've got 50, 100 snaps of game film where you can go show somebody, hey, listen, this is what I am.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because I mean, we're getting to a point now where just doing the math and looking at the schedule, and I know the schedule is what it is, but when you look at it, you don't see a lot of wins left on this schedule. So the one goal that potentially is still on the table is highly unlikely, which would be making a bowl game, right? So that's highly unlikely at this point. So the next best thing is to get the guys that have remaining eligibility a whole lot of snaps, or as many snaps as you can get them. I don't necessarily you want to win the game. Yes. You want to go out there and put your best out there. Yes. Every week. But at the same time, you want to see what you have, because we're playing the long game at this point. Not that this season doesn't matter anymore, but the outcomes of this season matter a whole lot less than what's coming in 2026 and in the future.
100%. All right. So real quick, I mean, we talk with Rhett Talk. Y'all got a key for this week?
A key.
A key. What's the key to if we're sitting here next Monday before we go into coach talk and we're like, holy bleep, we did it. How do we do it, Brian Siegel? What's the key?
The key is going to be when they get inside the 20, you force them to kick for 3. And when we get inside the 20, we're scoring touchdowns, because we've been awful in both directions. And if we do that with any degree of competence, we'll at least make that a game.
All right. Tyler?
Haynes King's health and us somebody having a God game, and Stewart had against North Carolina State. That's the two things. Somebody having a crazy game running the ball, because it's not going to happen in the passing and in the receiving yards. And Haynes King, I don't want nobody to get injured. I'm just saying how Haynes King plays. And like Rick Talk said, it's a lot of times where, he could get banged up a little bit. So his health and us running.
But he also plays better when he's nicked. So
yeah,
if he's going to get nicked, he's got to get nicked enough to get out the game.
Yeah. If you ask me how to win this game, he needs to pass the ball 40 times. If Haynes King's passed the ball 40 times, then we have a shot, because that tells me we slowed them down enough running, and we did what Brian said. We scored a couple touchdowns inside the red zone. So now they're like, all right, we got to pass the ball. We
Damn,
can't
throw
play
it 40 times. If he throws it 40 times, then that
that's
shit
what I'm
went
saying.
off the rails.
Well, that's what I'm saying. His highest this year is 28. That was against Clemson.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if he has to pass that much again, that was a 3-point win against Clemson. If he has to pass that much, that's our only chance. If you tell me he's at 18, oh God, they're gonna easily cover 14.
Yeah,
Easily.
because at that point, if like Rec Talk was talking about, you look at the rushing attack, they're going to be easily over that 160 mark that he was talking about. They'll be somewhere north of 200 in those rushing yards if he's only throwing 18 times.
100%. All righty. Brian, I put on there, let's talk about the portal. Fuck the portal. We'll talk about the portal next week when we got a little more time.
Fuck that portal.
Fuck the portal right now. Next week. Let's get predictions. Is anybody predicting to win? I'm not.
No.
Tally?
No.
I mean, I'm tempted to say Georgia Tech covers.
Georgia Tech.
No, I think Virginia Tech will cover. It may be a 14-point game. It was a 14 and a half last we checked.
It was hold on. That's what it opened at. Let me see where it's at now. Hold on. Let me get to my app here that indicates how much it's going to be.
Virginia Tech will rip my heart out and lose by 14 points or 10 points or something crazy like that.
14 and a half.
14 and a half.
14 and a half. 14 and a half is it.
10 to 14-point game is what I think. Georgia Tech's winning.
10 to 14, Georgia Tech. Good point here by King Season. He did throw 42 times in a game they should have lost. That was against Wake. Threw 42 times. All right. Well, let's get to it, Brian. Let's look at our gambling picks because, why not? We ain't got much else to do. Why not? So
we're looking like the Hokies out here, man. What the hell?
Well, Tally and Shelton could come back to 500 this week. I'm truly looking like the Hokies.
We not coming back. I know I'm not.
So how did I go actually 500 last week? That was unexpected. If you bet with me last week for the first time since I think week 1, you would have at least broke even.
100%. Who knows, Brian? You went a couple sideways ones, and it works sometimes. I think you took UVA. That was one. You took UVA. Yep. And what was your other one? Hold on.
Blanking. Efforting. Hang on.
Efforting here. Where is it? I got it wrote down somewhere. Miami saved you. The two biggest rival puts Brian at 500 last week. Well, this week, by the way, we talked about it when we were chatting. Tally, I think you said it, or maybe Brian, one of y'all said it like, holy shit, there's a bunch of good games this weekend.
A ton of good games.
Yeah.
At least, 4 or 5 ranked versus ranked?
Yeah.
Right.
4 or 5 ranked versus ranked, couple 5 huge rivalry games. And I'll start it off, and I am going to the biggest rivalry game this weekend at the Texas State Fair in the Cotton Bowl, the Red River Shootout. You ever call it a rivalry? You're not a fucking college football fan. Go away. Go away. I wish I could change my bet based on the news that literally broke an hour ago. And I sent y'all the message like, damn it. John Matee is now questionable to play. John Matee's Oklahoma's quarterback who's been balling this season before he fucked up his thumb. But we made
Did you take Texas? Oh, go ahead.
I put Texas. I picked because if Matee won't go play, I think Texas had a chance to win this game. I'll have to stick with it because that's what when we make our picks at the time it's time to make the picks. That was my knowledge. Texas 1.5. Please don't let Matee play. Y'all can beat Texas by a point without John Matee playing, and I'd still get a win. Texas.
Shelton rode right along with you there, bud. Tally, you?
Texas.
And even without the information on quarterback, I went OU here. I think
you did go OU.
I thought it was going to be a scraper by OU regardless. I haven't liked what I've seen from Texas at all this year so far. So
they trash.
Let it ride.
They're trash. I mean, they got stomped in the swamp by a bad Florida team. So, yeah. All right. Next game is – who's up next?
Tally.
I'm definitely going to be a LSU fan for this game. I hope they win by 40 points because I'm a hater. And one of the teams I want to hate on is South Carolina. But I am taking South Carolina in this point spread just because I want LSU to do that. And LSU, their defense hadn't looked that great to me. I mean, offense. The offense hadn't looked that great to me. So I don't think they're going to score enough points to beat them by 10 points.
Yeah, when we were doing the picks for this, and Tally dropped his, and I was like, he gave his justification. I was like, okay, so we're in full hate mode.
Hate.
At this point, that's all we have to cling on to for the rest of the season is being haters. And it's fun, as depressing as it is. It's at least a little fun to hate on that. But I think South Carolina's going to keep this one close enough to cover there. But I do think LSU takes the victory. So I'll take South Carolina as well.
I'm going to take South Carolina as well. But for another reason, Nussmeier's out. Garrett Nussmeier's not playing anymore this year. He's done.
Yep.
And I think 9.5. And by all means, I mean South Carolina could have beat Missouri the other week.
Yeah.
South Carolina could easily be 4-1 right now. I think they cover, and I think they got a chance to pull off a massive upset down in Death Valley. I mean, because if you're Shane, the first thing he throws is just throw the line they ain't got a starting quarterback, and they say they're going to beat us by 10 points.
Yeah.
Shelton, I think he rode along with us. That is a across the board.
That's a BCP sweep, baby.
Yep. Next is Shelton's pick, not here. BYU, Arizona. Arizona, the unranked team at home, getting the 1.5 points. An 8:00 game, not a 10:30 game, by the way. So this will not be Rec Talk's game of the week that he live streams. But Sheldon, what did he say? What did Sheldon say?
Sheldon's riding with Zona. Tally.
I'm riding with Zona as well.
B. Ryan?
Hey, not so fast, guys. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with the Mormons, man. we had them come up earlier. Might as well ride with them, baby.
All right. I'm going Arizona too, and here's why. Unranked team. Y'all know who BYU's playing next week?
Who we got?
They're playing Utah in the Holy War. Their mind is not going to be on playing Arizona. Their mind is going to be playing Utah at Utah next week. They are going to stumble, lose their undefeated record before they go to the Holy War. Arizona plus 1.5. Brian,
Right.
Where's our last stop on this wonderful trip?
Oh, you know where we're going.
Eugene, Oregon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is probably the marquee matchup of the week. I was kind of fighting back and forth on this one, even with that line, but ultimately where I landed is I think it's going to be about a touchdown victory for Oregon. That hook was a little too much for me.
I think Oregon's going to roll them. I think I would have taken this at 9 or 9.5. Oregon rolls up there. Indiana crashes back to earth. They're truly first. We saw what happened last year. They beat shit out of everybody. Then they had to play a big boy, and they got thumped. They're going to get thumped again.
Yeah, I got to go Oregon. I can't really choose any Indiana games. I think it was Jason last year. Was it Jason or Robbie?
Jason that would throw some in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie was a hater. He's like anytime Indiana's on here, go against them because they don't win the big games.
So Robbie's who I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
So Robbie said they was pretenders last year. Not saying they're pretenders this year. I just need to see more for me to put them on the win column on the spread.
All right, so there it is. There's all our big screeners. A little short episode this week because I do believe next Monday we're gonna probably go a full 2 hours. Easy 2 hours because we'll talk about the Georgia Tech
start
game.
Jumping on, start talking about the coaching. It's gonna go a little bit, man.
So there's some new folks in here. Brian, just tell them what will happen next week so they're prepared.
Yeah. So next week, what we're gonna do, we're gonna recap what happened with Georgia Tech. We'll break that down. And at some point in the episode, I will drop the link to join the stream. As people, click the link, they'll come into the green room there. And we'll try to work you on as quick as we can. Try to come in, make your point, 2 to 3 minutes, something like that. Try to be succinct, get your point across. But definitely, as Tally said earlier, come with some credentials, some backup as far as the reasoning and all 100%. That. Don't just throw names at a wall and say, "All right, see you later."
Exactly. All right. With that being said, Tally, we turning it in early tonight. Let's get some sleep, boys. That wraps up this episode of the Boundary Corner Podcast, brought to you by Counts Family Pharmacy in Blacksburg and by Moments on the Maury in Lexington. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Jonathan Talley. Sorry, Tally. I stepped on you there. My bad. Visit boundarycornerbt.com to listen to all of our episodes. While you're there, follow us everywhere you can. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube or your favorite podcast source. We are on them all. Tally's playing with the thing there. Pretty funny. As always, Jason Long down in Roanoke plays us in, plays us out. Check him out at jasonlongmusic.com where you can link up to all of his music, Apple, Spotify, his YouTube and Facebook pages, and where he's playing live. Appreciate y'all for listening. Appreciate all the stuff in the chat. Appreciate Rec Talk tonight. Even though we're 2-4, as always, let's go.
Hokies.
Hokies.